Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. You've got the Cousins Brothers, and we've got a special report for you tonight. Buckle up. American Sasquatch, man, myth, or monster? It's going to take audiences on a groundbreaking investigation into the world's greatest mystery. But before we show you the world-exclusive trailer and some updates, we're going to be covering in tonight's episode the Atlas. What is going on? It's in our solar system. Is this something ancient in origin, as they've stated in the history books long ago? Some kind of spaceship making its way towards Earth? Well, we've got a special report. A lot of people chiming in, a lot of social media on what Avi Loeb, Harvard professor, has to say. We've spoke to him recently with regards to this. He thinks that it could be something alien in nature. Listen up.
Did the comet 3I Atlas just release a UFO fleet over Mars? As the interstellar object flew past Mars, last October 4th, NASA's Perseverance rover saw something it shouldn't have. A massive, cylindrical object with strange, dish-like shapes on both ends. Look at the detail. This is a raw image directly from NASA. This wasn't just one object, it was a group. At the exact same time, another camera on the rover started taking a 9-minute time lapse. It captured not one, but at least 8 other objects streaking across the Martian sky. Scientists like Avi Loeb speculate that this isn't a comet at all, but a carrier that could deploy these smaller probes to observe Mars. As Professor Loeb said, this object has anomalies that defy natural explanation. For one, it's glowing towards the sun, which he called a bizarre tail from the forehead. It's also shedding nickel without iron, a chemical signature common in industrial alloys, hinting at a technological origin. And get this, it came from the exact same direction as the mysterious WOW signal detected back in 1977. So, where are the close-up shots from our powerful Mars orbiters? Well, just before this happened, NASA announced they couldn't upload any new high-resolution images due to a lack of federal funding. How convenient. So I have to ask, what did our rover really just witness? Was this a natural event, or our first real look at an interstellar fleet?
An interesting coincidence between the direction from where 3I Atlas came into the solar system and the direction of a radio signal that was very enigmatic, detected back on August 15th, 1977. It's called the WOW signal because the observer that discovered it wrote WOW on the data notes. I checked the direction from where the WOW signal came, and it was within 9 degrees of the arrival direction of 3I Atlas, which is an unusual coincidence because the chance of that happening at random is 0.6%, a very small probability.
Yes, it's the infamous 3I Atlas, and it just seems like the closer it gets, the more unexplainable it becomes. You know, the interstellar object making its way towards us that professors and media outlets are all insisting might be alien technology? Well, a literal YouTuber has taken probably the clearest photo of the object yet, somehow better than anything NASA has shown us so far. And let me tell you, this thing does not look like a comet. So sometime in the beginning of October, 3I Atlas has officially been hidden from view for us here on Earth as it passes behind the sun, only to emerge around the end of November, and be at its most visible point from Earth mid-December at its closest approach to our planet. But right before it went behind the sun, it passed by Mars, which NASA has an active satellite orbiting, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, MRO. And NASA previously mentioned it's reallocating a bunch of its space telescopes and satellites to observe 3I Atlas as it passes by, of which included MRO. But just recently, they put up a notice on their site saying, due to the lapse in federal government funding, NASA is not updating this website. Conveniently, just right before the expected Mars flyby of 3I Atlas. Does this mean they're not going to be taking a photo of it anymore? Whatever this means, it's just incredibly questionable timing. And every photo NASA has released of it so far has just been a blurry, pixelated blob that anyone can dismiss as just a comet, which it might be. But somehow, amateur astronomers are taking better pics of it from here on Earth than the biggest space agency in the world. YouTuber Dobsonian Power used his backyard telescope to take this photo of 3I Atlas, which is honestly pretty wild if you ask me. I mean, the shot is fairly blurry too, but we can clearly make out a shape that is quite angular, maybe even somewhat I don't know, triangle shape.
Guys, this is literally gonna sound insane, but scientists are now saying that there's an alien spaceship just cruising through our solar system right now, and then NASA is saying that there's not. This is the truth about what 3I Atlas really is. So this is the third time that we've ever caught an interstellar object come through our solar system from another star. The first one that we found was actually the one called Oumuamua, which a lot of people are probably already gonna remember. This one is called 3I Atlas. It was discovered on July the 1st with that massive NASA-funded telescope that's located in Chile. NASA actually just dropped their sharpest images yet of this comet, and they're saying that the solid center is somewhere between 320 meters and 5.6 kilometers. That's obviously a really big question mark, but they're saying that that's not planet destruction big. So, is this a comet or is it an alien spaceship? They're saying that they're seeing dust and gas coming off of it, which is classic comet behavior. And if you're wondering why there's alien headlines going around everywhere, it's basically because this high-profile astronomer basically came out with a what if and said, what if it's tech? And then all of the media outlets basically just heard the word aliens and then did their thing.
And let's get into it with one of our favorite interstellar experts, Harvard professor Avi Loeb. Professor, welcome back. Starting with these new images from ESA's ExoMars orbiter. What stands out to you? Any surprises here?
Well, the fact is that we see an image very similar to the Hubble Space Telescope image that was obtained on July 21st. Qualitatively speaking, of course, the Hubble Space Telescope is a much bigger has a much bigger mirror, 2.4 meters in diameter, whereas this camera that was used on ExoMars is much smaller, and as a result, it can the low surface brightness in the envelope surrounding the core of the plume of the glow around the 3I Atlas. And I calculated that, in fact, the resolution of the camera of ExoMars is about 340 and we see that the image, the glow around 3I Atlas, is about 2 resolution elements, 2 pixels. We can tell that because the stars are point sources in the background, and they have a width that is roughly half of the width of the image of 3I Atlas. So altogether, we can see the core that was already apparent in the Hubble Space Telescope image.
Rare interstellar object the size of Manhattan could be an alien probe, according to Harvard scientists. Sorry, is an alien probe heading towards Earth? This is an interstellar object. It came from outside of the solar system and then traveled here, and it is the largest and fastest interstellar object we've ever seen. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb suggested in a new paper that the object could be an intelligently directed alien craft observing Earth with a possibly hostile intentions. Let's check it out. Here's the paper, which is essentially a giant thought experiment saying, what if this was aliens? What would we see? What would happen? In fact, if we scroll to the conclusions, it says this. We strongly emphasize that this paper is largely an exercise with interesting discoveries and strange serendipities worthy of a record in the scientific literature. By far, the most likely outcome will be that 3I Atlas is a completely natural interstellar object, probably a comet, and the authors await the astronomical data to support this likely origin.
As it gets closer, we could probably decipher.
Scientists give chilling update on mysterious interstellar object racing through our solar system as they warn it's even bigger than we thought. Provide a chilling update on a mysterious interstellar object that's racing through our solar system using data from the Vera C. Rubin Observatory. Experts have revealed just how big the object dubbed 31 Atlas really is. According to their analysis, the object measures roughly 7 miles in diameter. Holy fuck. How big is New York City? Bigger than Mount Everest, making it the largest interstellar object ever spotted.
What's interesting is the trajectory and velocity of 3I Atlas has remained almost perfectly consistent for the entire time that we've been observing it. Since the object was first spotted in early May up until right now in October, it has not sped up, slowed down, or changed direction by any meaningful amount. That might not sound weird, but if this were a comet, then it should be moving around a lot more. You see, comets heat up as they approach the sun, which causes them to melt, or technically to sublimate, which is what happens when a solid transitions directly into a gas. And the release of that gas tends to push the comet around in space, like a thruster. So a typical comet will change velocity and direction depending on what side is being exposed to the sun. We call that movement non-gravitational acceleration, or NGA, and we typically measure the average distance of variation that occurs in one day. As we've seen, 3I Atlas has been doing a lot of sublimating already, including a mini tail that formed in the direction of the sun, which has now begun to evolve into a longer tail that is facing away from the sun. And yet, on a daily basis, the velocity and trajectory of 3I Atlas has only fluctuated by about 1.5 kilometers of NGA per day. Let's compare that with 2I Borisov, the most normal of the interstellar trio. It was measured to fluctuate over 100 kilometers per day, about 100 times more movement on average than Atlas. Now, one potential explanation would be that Atlas is bigger and therefore harder to move. Makes sense. But we can bring in another point of comparison. This is Hale-Bopp. It's one of the biggest comets we've ever discovered in our solar system, at least as big as 3I Atlas, if not much bigger. We saw Hale-Bopp move around by an average of over 10 kilometers of NGA per day, again, around 10 times more than Atlas. And Oumuamua blows them all away. At some points, it was changing direction by over 1,000 kilometers per day. So even when compared to other interstellar objects, 3I Atlas is moving in a very strange way. It's holding such an unusually steady course that you could almost say it's intentional, as if it's being guided through the solar system. If 3I Atlas is a ship that is being steered, then not only can it hold a course, but it could, theoretically, also change course whenever it wants. Right now, we expect that 3I Atlas will end up being on the opposite side of the sun from the Earth as it passes through the inner solar system, so we won't have an opportunity to see it up close, or it won't have a chance to see us, unless somehow 3I Atlas is able to slow itself down as it passes by the sun and we find it waiting for us on the other side.
And then they say, but we should think outside the box when we see things like this and consider aliens. And that is because the author of this paper is Avi Loeb, that Harvard astrophysicist. And for those of you who don't know, he is an alien optimist. He likes to approach space mysteries with aliens in mind, which is fine. We need to look at things from all angles. He's the same person who said that aliens might use a mothership in our solar system, which went viral, and that interstellar object Oumuamua could be aliens, which was largely disproven. He also thought another interstellar object landed in our ocean and actually went out with a boat and collected pieces of it, and it wasn't aliens. So no, this object is not aliens. It is a very, very cool object that came from outside of the solar system, but it's not coming near Earth, it's not dangerous, and it's not aliens.
NASA's official read on this entire situation says interstellar comet, no threat, keep observing. The translation to that is basically science mode on, panic mode off. So basically this is an interstellar comet that's from another solar system, but there's nothing to worry about.
Of course, there is a much better camera that we hope to get the data from. It's the high-rise camera on the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter that is 50 centimeters in diameter and therefore will allow us a pixel size of 30 kilometers when 3I Atlas was closest to Mars at the distance of 30 million kilometers. The challenge there is that NASA is currently under government shutdown, and so we cannot get any communications from NASA, and that prevents the flow of data that was already obtained.
Did you hear that 3I Atlas just sent a message to Earth and it passed by Mars and they caught this photo of it? It has no comet tail or asteroid particleage coming out of the back of it. That's the same photo with the black removed in the background, taken by the Mars rover because it just passed super close to Mars. So NASA angled the camera towards it, shot photon protein fiber beams. That's the best way to get the best imagery, and look at that.
Yeah, so that data has already been collected. That picture, those images, they already exist. It's just we have no idea when we're going to see them, right?
Right, and some people ask me about the government shutdown, whether there is any conspiracy to hold off the data from the public eye. And I said, the delay is not a signature of extraterrestrial intelligence. It's more a signature of terrestrial stupidity.
Digitally enhanced, this sure doesn't look like no comet to me. Comets are supposed to be fairly round and maybe lumpy, but this has like, I don't know, sharp edges and long protrusions coming out of it. Here it is, reconstructed with AI. And I know this is AI, it's far from accurate, but damn. And why is this still more clear than anything NASA has given us with their billion-dollar telescopes so far? Because the news coming out about this comet is just non-stop. Like, there's a new update every single day, with alleged leaks from European astronomers showing internal data that is not congruent with that of a comet, who also admitted the government is intentionally covering up the truth of 3I Atlas, albeit this was an anonymous post on a certain website that shall not be named.
There was a jet coming out of this object towards the sun. Unlike a cometary tail that usually goes away from the sun, there was an unusual chemical composition containing mostly nickel without iron. There was a polarization of light never seen before for comets, and the trajectory of 3I Atlas is aligned with the plane of the planets around the sun. The arrival time was fine-tuned to come very close to Mars today and later to Jupiter and Venus.
So basically, Congressman, I know you just heard all of that. You received intelligence that suggests that there are perhaps deep water alien bases right now sitting on the ocean floor on this planet. Is that accurate?
I would say that's pretty accurate. We've got five or six deep water areas of our oceans. We actually know more about the surface of the moon than we do about these areas. And these are areas where we have a high frequency of UFO or UAP sightings. And we've tracked things big as a football field going 200 miles an hour. Now, I realize in the water you extrapolate that to knots and all that, but just for good old East Tennessee common sense, 200 miles an hour is something the size of a football field. And we don't know what it is. And these are in these areas. So yeah, there's something going on there. And whether it's something that's been here for millennial or whatever.
Another leaked NASA memo allegedly claims its acceleration is not consistent with Newtonian predictions, meaning it's speeding up and slowing down on its own, and that its surface appears to be made of a highly reflective composite material. Professor Avi Loeb also revealed the object is glowing from the front rather than from behind, as is expected from a comet, and also seems that it might be emanating its own light, which led some, including him, to suggest that it may be a nuclear-powered craft. Now, more recent news came out that 3I Atlas is massive, at least 33 billion tons, which is much bigger than we previously thought. And according to scientists, naturally occurring objects in interstellar space are just not supposed to be this big. Mass spectroscopy analysis reveal it's also rich in nickel and poor in iron, which is more like a manufactured alloy than it is a natural rock. Its trajectory is almost impossible to have occurred naturally, within 5 degrees of our solar system's orbital plane and passing by Mars, Venus, and Jupiter along its path, going directly behind the sun from Earth at its closest approach to the sun, which Professor Loeb stated the odds of this trajectory happening at random are like 1 in 20,000. 3I Atlas will emerge back into view for us on Earth sometime mid to end November, and then be at its most visible by Earth-based telescopes during its closest approach to us here on Earth in the beginning to mid-December. You are not going to be able to see it with the naked eye, and honestly, you're probably going to need a high-powered professional telescope to look at it yourself. But hey, if it does turn out to be artificial, it'll be pretty wild knowing an alien craft is drifting right above our heads at the end of this year.
3I Atlas saga. Why is today so important, and what are we now learning about this thing?
For a simple reason, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And we are about to get the highest resolution images of 3I Atlas when it comes within 29 million kilometers from Mars. There are several orbiters, one that was deployed by NASA around Mars, and it has a camera. This camera is called HiRISE that will be able to resolve 3I Atlas with a 30 kilometer per pixel resolution. So we will learn much more about it in the coming days, and hopefully the data will be out soon. Science is fun because we can learn from evidence. So far, there are 7 anomalies of this unusual object. The size is very large. It's larger of all the size of Manhattan Island, about 1,000 times more massive than the previous interstellar comet, about 33 billion tons, at least that mass.
It is throwing the scientific community into a tizzy. But what's the craziest is the Mars rover picked up a frequency errors from it. It's kind of like Morse code-esque, but not that, because of course alien entities would not know that. But they threw it into an advanced AI model working with ChatGPT-3, and they said that it pumped it out, and it said the message said, "Humanity, we are sky cousins. We deposit you on Earth. We return in faith to elevate mankind with us." And so now NASA's looking for someone who can translate it, because those are the best English words that we can fit in with it, but we don't know what it means. So if you have any idea what you think it might mean, or any wordage experts out there, please put it in the comments.
Between, I would say, 30 to 40% that it's not a natural object, because we don't see a beautiful tail behind this object the way we see around comets. But I think most likely it's natural, but nevertheless, it has all these anomalies that make it unusual. It's in the plane of the planets around the sun. It's also coming close to Mars and Jupiter. It's very big, apparently, relative to the previous objects that we found from interstellar space.
All right, guys, I want to get your thoughts. You've heard it from the people around the world on social media of what they think it could or could not be. What is the Atlas III comet? Is it something extraterrestrial in nature, something interstellar visiting us purposely, a drone, a scout of some sort? Avi Loeb, he's creating a lot of stir out there. Some people are a little concerned that we should be worried about what's going on. Is it on its way? Does it have hostile intentions? Well, we're going to leave it up to you to decide. We want to hear your comments with regards to what you just heard from the public and Avi Loeb himself. What do you think? Should we be worried? Should the government tell us that, hey, we're not alone? I don't know, guys. We're going to find out real soon. But now, as promised, from the very beginning of the episode, we wanted to tell you that we wanted to share this incredible trailer just in American Sasquatch, Man, Myth, or Monster, David Paulides' newest documentary. Not quite the 411, but a lot of people say they have gone missing because of the infamous Sasquatch. And this groundbreaking new trailer that's about to reveal itself is going to be presented right now in Third Phase. Take a look at this.
I've been a woodsman all my life, and then I've never been afraid of anything that's in the woods. But I am just a little bit afraid of these Bigfoots. When you go up there, you're in their backyard.
They have been here for a long time.
Oh, there you go.
It's not simply some creature.
There's two divergent thoughts on what Bigfoot is. One side believes it's an ape, gorilla. The other school of thought is it's multidimensional.
There's a physical and a non-physical aspect to it.
You've got Bigfoot, you've got orbs, and I mean, the two go hand in hand.
You'll have a Bigfoot sighting and then a UFO sighting, or vice versa.
There is high strangeness attached to almost every meaningful Bigfoot encounter.
We started tracking this creature. The tracks disappear. They're gone.
Some people know some things that they don't want other people to know.
It's pretty surprising what we found. Skinwalker Ranch. Research on orbs, Bigfoot.
There were unusual creatures on Skinwalker Ranch.
There's a lot of information that doesn't get talked about. The paranormal things that no ape could certainly do.
If you're out to solve the problem, you're going to have to know all aspects of it.
I saw a Sasquatch and it vanished into thin air.
Through the night vision, seeing something completely different.
There's things out there we just don't see or understand.
Has the ability to cloak.
It rewrites history.
They were astonishing to see.
right here?
American Sasquatch, man, myth, or monster. It takes audiences on a groundbreaking investigation into the world's greatest mysteries. Created by the former detective and best-selling author of the Missing 411 series, David Paulides, he combines cutting-edge science with gripping storytelling. From quantum physics and advanced DNA analysis to the insights of PhD researchers and respected institutions comes startling evidence that blurs the line between folklore and reality. Viewers are invited to confront compelling facts that may forever change the way you see the legendary creature known as Sasquatch. Well, it's going to be released coming up in December 2025, but the premiere is November 29th, 2025 in Seattle, Washington. We're going to be meeting up with David Paulides right there in Seattle on the 29th at the world premiere. And let me tell you, we've got some big questions for David Paulides. It's going to be an exclusive right here at Third Phase of Moon, so make sure you subscribe and buckle up for that. Let's get ready. David Paulides from the 411 Missing series, now his latest, American Sasquatch, Man, Myth, or Monster, is going to be available worldwide December 2025. We'll keep you posted to the exact date, but once again, November 29th, we're going to be in Seattle, Washington. We're going to give you the exact places and location where you can see the premiere and upcoming coverage right here at Third Phase of Moon, but we're excited about your opinions. So what do you think? Is the Sasquatch real? Some of the footage that I've seen in this documentary, it's pretty mind-blowing. Some of the best documented video evidence of the mystical creature himself. American Sasquatch, man, myth, or monster. Everybody, keep your eyes on the skies, and if you've captured anything amazing, submit it to us right here at Third Phase of Moon. My email is in the description. See you next time.